Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wade and Carter Show, live from the Anson studio. We're glad you're all here. And joining us on this Friday morning, the commander in the studio as well. Wade and Carter weather brought to you by the great folks at AT Deerlam Hayfeed and Ranch Services.
69 degrees and cloudy in Victoria, Texas, heading to a high today of 82. Another cloudy day. Should be just like yesterday. It's just going to get a little bit warmer. Tomorrow, partly sunny, high of 80. Sunday, sunny, high of 66. We have a little cold front coming in.
The winter of 2026, we will rebuild.
Yeah, the Atzenhofer Studio. Just the latest extension of a dealership that's been a South Texas tradition for over 100 years. Just an amazing. Linda misses our old intro song. I think that.
See, and I was hearing the other. That song is getting old and tired.
Well, I think that I know that Facebook constantly thinks that we are infringing upon someone's copyright, which we're not. We have literally spoken to Mo Bandy in person.
Yeah. And it's always in like third world countries.
Yeah, so they buffer it.
Uzbekistan.
Right.
Somebody there is claiming.
It's either north or south of the equator. We'd have to get with AOC to understand exactly where. The AOC Geography Minute.
Yeah. No, but and you and I spend countless hours collectively typing a response to these copyright claims going, no,
right.
Mo Bandy gave us permission to use the song. And then Facebook comes back and goes, okay, it's cleared up. And then the next day, Uzbekistan, somebody there files another copyright infringement law, and it just got tiresome.
And they also send you a note that'll say, your monetized video has been deleted. As if that's really going to teach you a lesson. Yeah. Like, do we make any money? Have you ever gotten any money off that?
No.
Right.
I've never got it. Facebook, and I think this is pertinent because right now you've got Mark Zuckerberg under a lot of fire. In the same breath that I can tell you Facebook has lost its way, I can also tell you that I'm not a big fan of Mark Zuckerberg being held personally accountable because your kid is addicted to social media. I think that is a parental responsibility. I don't want Facebook to limit the amount of time I can have on screen through some algorithm that says, ooh, you know, like when you're driving, well, not you because you drive an older vehicle. But in my truck, and for sure in Cody's Hummer, if you're driving and you veer across the lane too many times without using a blinker, like you change lanes, the little coffee cup pops up. You may want to take a break.
Mine's always on. Is that an issue?
Yeah, that's not a problem.
Oh, okay, good.
That's like I put on my smartwatch and it said call 911. I'm not worried about that.
Right.
But it's uncanny how the Raptor will tell me you need to take a break. And I realize it's just because I changed lanes a couple of times. And mine even has, if you change lanes without a blinker, you're driving along and you start to change lanes and it goes, the steering wheel vibrates too, you know. And I thought, man, that middle of that lane's kind of rough. It's really not. It's me. But I don't like that Facebook is being hammered by the court system because little Billy spends too much time on Facebook. That is mama's fault. And all that mama and daddy's fault. I'm not being sexist here. It's just an hour program. Mom, dad, transgender grandmother. I don't have time for all the different genders and isms. But you find yourself saying, it's cute. Look, she's only 2 and she knows how to scroll on my phone. And then you're at HEB and you see these kids that are just scrolling the whole time and mom's not talking to them. I mean, there's no interaction.
Well, Mom used to shut us up by grabbing a bag of Oreos off the shelf, opening them up, feeding you the cookies out of it, and then paying for the bag at the end.
Right. Unless you ate the whole bag. That was part of the deal. If you ate the whole bag, it was free, right? But you do, I don't know why, you don't get an attaboy for doing what's right, but I always feel good. Like if I'm at HEB and I grab a Coke Zero while I'm walking around, I always like to hand her the empty bottle and go, "Can you throw that away for me?" After you charge me, of course. Like, look at me, look at me, look at me. I didn't steal it.
And I feel bad for these parents. They've all lost kids at young ages in their lives that are suing Facebook. But is that really Zuckerberg's fault?
No, it's not his fault. But here's the deal. Here's where we are as a nation.
Got to blame somebody because
It's
their
his
kids' mental
fault
health
because
problems
he's
weren't taken
rich.
care of.
He's rich, so it's his fault. We're going to sue him. And which, with my ADD/segue, leads us right into your man, Zoran Mamdani, who's now, he started out saying, we're going to have a one-time tax like on the rich. California's a big proponent of 5% of your total net worth, just a one-time tax. So that's why people are leaving California in droves. But Mamdani now saying he may have to tax people with as little as $120,000 a year in income. And if you live in New York City and you only, quote unquote, only make 120 grand a year, you're barely getting by in New York City.
Well, and he wants to raise property taxes 9.5%. He also thinks he may need to raid the rainy day fund there, which I believe is employee pension reserves.
Yeah, the city would also take $980 million from its rainy day fund and take $229 million from the Retiree Health Benefits Trust.
Thank you for reading the Daily Wire story that I did not read.
Yeah, do you see, though, how quickly he went from we're a party of the people
We're
to
going
like,
to tax the rich.
all you people are fixing to
Yeah,
give me
'cause the
9.5%.
rich need to pay their fair share. Oh, wait, there's not enough of them.
Right.
And their fair share
You run out of
doesn't
other
make
people's money.
a difference, so we're going to come after you.
Yeah. Yeah. So it says without Kathy Hochul, she's promised New Yorkers she will not raise taxes in 26. So without her support, Mamdani is left with raising property taxes as his administration's primary lever. Folks, the left is going to even the left is going to become unhinged over this clown raising.
Are they really?
Do you think they're going to be
They
okay
fell
with
in
it?
line over COVID.
Well, that's true. They are sheep.
They seem, I just don't think they will. I don't think they
You
will.
think they'll just do it?
But what's happening is the New Yorkers who have money, the ones that create jobs, they're leaving the state in droves, just like in California. That's why they have to, I mean,
They're all going to come here. And that's okay. Bring your business and come.
don't bring your leftist ideas, because let's not forget, the same people fleeing New York have been the ones that have voted in the Eric Adams and the Bloombergs and the de Blasios and the idiots, the Hochul's, the Schumers,
Oh, Chucky.
the Pelosi's. These are the idiots leaving these states are the same ones that got their states into the S-hole states that they are.
I saw a deal the other day. The guy said that California, had talked about reparations, slavery reparations for black folks, and found it very interesting that a group of people who were never slaves were going to get money from a group of people who never owned slaves in a state that never had slaves. And it said that would be like you paying child support for a kid that was never birthed by a woman you never slept with. It makes perfect sense. It just makes perfect sense. You cannot make this stuff up.
Nope. Bobby Leisler, Scott Tomko, Kappa and Case, 1963 on the podium this morning.
Now, do we know who
on
that
YouTube?
is?
No idea.
I like
It's
it.
okay.
The YouTube listener
Yep.
checking in. You can also catch us on the No Bull Network. I don't think people understand. So, like, if you're in Calhoun County and you're listening on 105.9, that's great. But you're part of a much bigger network. And I don't think people understand the size and scope. DeWitt, Goliad, Gonzales, Carnes City, Atascosa, B, Frio, Jim Hogg, all these counties. 104.3 in Jim Hogg County. Thank you for listening in. Very, very well done. By the way, hats off to my friend, not your friend,
No.
not our friend, my friend, Patrick Strauss. Pete Strauss took it to heart yesterday. He's a quality gentleman. Went by Ramirez Transmission yesterday and picked up some tickets for they're going to have chicken, sausage, and the fixins. And
$10.
$10. It's on the 28th. It's next Saturday. Highly recommend that you go by. And then our own Bob Constantine, just one of the most generous fellows on the planet, went by and just donated some money to help them put on the event. Said, I don't necessarily need a ticket. I just want you to have a successful event. Hey, David Ballard, I just think that the generosity and the observable sense of community that is in Victoria, Texas, is a very rare and wonderful thing.
Yeah, I think our listeners and viewers are the most generous folks in this community.
And it's going to come in really handy because the city is now talking about a fee to be shared by all of us, Mom Donnies, for drainage. It's a drainage fee, Commander. And if you live in the city, they're talking about a fee. And of course, it'll just be a nominal fee. Yeah. I'll bet it's not any more than a cup of coffee a month. Do you realize how much coffee you would have to drink to pay all the bills that people want with that one cup of coffee? The city now wanting to create a fee to focus only on drainage issues. Now, when you read, if you go to the Facebook post, the city's become a really good inundator of data. They have a web page and they have people on board that their job is social media, and they bombard you with the other side of the pancake. I'm not saying that focusing on drainage is a bad thing. In fact, I would say it's a good thing, and as an insurance professional, it's a really good thing. However, I'm pretty sure that for the last, almost 200 years of this city, in the oldest and greatest and biggest country ever in the history of the world, case in point, Jesus born in
Bethlehem, Pennsylvania.
Absolutely. Wrote the Bible there in King James English to make it accessible to the Western Europeans.
And then sat there on the, where those old copiers that used to crank
Oh,
the
I thought you
handle
were
on.
going to say he was a Hurley
risograph?
I thought you were going to say he had like a pet monkey and he did that thing.
No, he might have. He was Jesus. He could have had whatever he wanted.
Well, he had a talking monkey. Curious George. But the city now kind of squinting one eye, looking at you from the balcony of the new Justice Center, 50 million plus, and saying, look, we think it's appropriate and prudent and smart to charge you $5 a month for an equivalent residential unit. See, it's called a stormwater drainage utility fee. Yeah.
Here's the city's.
You're
from the city.
Is this something we get to vote on? Probably not. They're considering it.
How much of this is on the heels of them building the public safety office,
Which creates drainage problems.
right next to the large drainage ditch?
The aqueduct.
And if I'm not mistaken, and I could be, but I'm not.
There's
I may
a
not
chance.
be,
Let me flip a coin.
in the 500-year floodplain?
Yeah, very interesting.
I mean, think about it. That water would, if it ever got high enough, would just spill over and into the banks. Now it's going to back up if it ever gets high enough into those homes to the north side of it. I don't know.
Cost of progress. The cost of progress. So it's for general maintenance, mowing the drainage ditches, culvert clearing, capital projects, improvements at key outfalls and drainage channels.
Gas prices are low, so it can't be a gas issue for the mowers.
So this is interesting. It's emergency response, Cody, the quick removal of blockages and localized flooding issues.
Why are we not being proactive in cleaning storm drains now on the streets?
They're proposing a flat fee for all residential utility bills.
They'll vote on it March 3rd and 17th at the city council meeting.
Now, here's what gets me about this.
Public hearing was already held.
Of course, 95% of all Victorians or more are going to say, well, I don't want that. I mean, I don't want that. They're basically saying if you take the square footage of Victoria, divide it by the number of residents, comes out to 3,200 square feet, and you're 3,200 square feet.
I think that's for businesses and apartment complex. Residences are just a flat $5
$5 a month. I don't know. I would like to know how, for the last 200 years, we've handled it here. You know,
if you live in an apartment, the fee will be billed to the property owner, not the tenant.
So how does he pass that on?
They say that like it's not going to get passed on to the tenant at some point, right?
At some point, your rent's going to go up $60 a month. By the way, I don't know anybody that would move if their rent went up $60 a month, right? I mean, it's such a hassle.
I don't either.
$60 a year. I mean,
say that. But I mean, if I'm renting a place and I'm the one paying the water bill, why don't they put on to me?
I'm being sincere. If you're going to go there, why wouldn't, we've all heard the old joke of if it's yellow, let it mellow. If it's brown,
flush it
down. Why? I guarantee you in my neighborhood, Patrick Strauss wants to know if the old school board is in charge of this. This sounds like something they would do, right?
Yeah.
It's just a flat fee. It's only $5 a month. I like that. Well done, P. Strauss. I think that there's got to be a way to monitor how many times people flush their toilets, right? Now, I realize that they already pay a water bill that is calculated into their toilet use, but we already pay taxes.
Yeah, well, this is drainage. This is stormwater stuff. This isn't sewage.
But don't we already pay taxes to maintain our roads and our drain? I mean, why isn't there a road striping fee put on? Well, yes, of course you pay taxes for the infrastructure, but we're going to charge you $5 a month to stripe those roads.
The stormwater drainage utility fee would create a dedicated funding source for drainage while leaving other funds available for other projects.
It makes sense. They're going to get $5 more per person or per household in the community.
I mean, here's the thing. Why wouldn't you reprioritize from the existing budget if something came up that was such an impending catastrophe that we had to address it from a stormwater drainage issue?
Stormwater drainage utility fees are used by many other Texas cities as a reliable method.
Oh, well, that solves it.
Well, as long as everybody else is getting screwed, why shouldn't we get screwed? Yeah. Put it to me. Right? I feel like the new kid in prison. No, why can't we just say no? No, you're not going to bill me $5. Solve your own problems. And I tell you, it's unrelated. Now, I'm being sincere here because I like City Manager Jesus Garza. Jesus is going to be on the show soon. And trust me, every word being said here today will be put into an AI-generated report by one of Jesus' minions over at City Hall. And Jesus will be briefed on everything that's being said on this show today. Do you disagree?
No.
He will absolutely
And
will know everything.
And you'll get a text.
I'll get a text or a phone call. Yeah, every time.
Kathleen Leininger asked the question, why isn't maintenance of the drainage systems included in their budget?
Well, it is. But Victoria's growing, and it's just
Is it?
It's not. No, but I'm trying here, Ash. There's challenges. We have problems. Yes, Scott, there is a minion fee. Funny you should ask. The city recently hired a new minion to come in, and he's specializing in growth and retention of businesses in Victoria, Texas, which, by the way, I thought would be somewhat equally shared by the
$100,000 there that probably could have
more
gone
than that.
to-
I guarantee he's got a dual name title. It's more than $100,000.
Could have easily set up some sort of endowed stormwater drainage
No
fund.
doubt. What we ought to do is get that dude some rubber boots. And if he wants to find a way to save businesses in Victoria, get out there and clean out a ditch. I don't understand why, when you've got, I realize it's mostly ceremonial, but you've got a mayor and a city council. They're involved in bringing in and retaining business. You've got a Victoria Economic Development Corp that the city pumps money into that's involved in bringing in and retaining business.
And a city
You've got a
element.
chamber of commerce that's autonomous, that's involved in bringing in and retaining business. And you've got a city manager whose very job is to bring in and retain business. Why do we have to hire a guy
city
for that?
department for that too?
Why do we have to hire a guy for that?
They're too busy.
Well, they're not too busy cleaning out the ditches. Some of this is tongue in cheek, but here's the deal. You're just going to bend over and take it just like you did.
Tongue in cheek, but it's based on the conversations we've had with people when this stuff starts happening.
Absolutely. Yep. Very interesting. What are you going to do? What hell are you going to raise? Should Wade and Carter organize a protest? We could all meet at the Patty Dawson. Do you have one of those little portable grills? We could cook like, I think I could
the old
get,
hibachi grill.
well, and we could do like sausage wraps, and I could maybe get a keg.
Oh, I've got the grill, but I don't have the keg.
Well, would it be against the law for us to put a keg on the corner of the Patty Dodson? I'm just trying to make it a fun little protest. Could we have the Boston, like, pee party? Everybody can stand out there and pee on the
Victoria
curb.
Pea Party.
Pee on
Except
the
this
curb.
is stormwater drainage. It's not our sewage.
See the yellow river flowing down the drain.
You're not supposed to pee in the stormwater drains. You're not supposed to dump anything toxic into the stormwater drains.
Some of the leftists might show up.
So we're saying Brent's pee is toxic?
It could be.
Get enough.
Do you know what a benefit it would be? Like, I wish they made a vodka that whitens your teeth.
I've got a better idea.
know
Why
what I
don't we
mean?
go back to using the trustees to mow our ditches and our right of ways?
That, like, former school trustees?
Any trustees?
Oh, you're talking about trustees like in the prison system.
Yes.
What a great idea. What if we just took trustees, people that volunteered, people that were of good, relatively speaking, they're in our county jail, but they
And
like
they've been a
little
good
fresh
citizen
air.
in jail and maybe not out of jail,
Let's
but
get them out there to clean those drains out. Anybody opposed? Motion carries. Does the gentleman yield? Yes. For what purpose? To discuss. I yield my time back to the chairman.
this used to be a regular sight in this town
Wouldn't that be great?
20 years ago. They'd be out there in their prison stripes,
Just
weed whacking.
Just give them some bottomless chaps and play Moon River over and over again while they clean out the drainage ditches. Kathleen Leininger, she comes in with the word idiot. Idiot water managers on the Potomac are going to want to add fees to clean up the huge mess they made. But no worry, they hired people who looked most like everyone. Yes, did you see this? The guy that's the head of DC Water literally said there were too many white people involved in the mix, and that is what went wrong in D.C. We need more people that look like the people that live in this community working on that. Now, he's the head of the water board. He ain't taking no responsibility for that. It's white people's fault. Jordan Glass says, I have the grill. I think we should host a potluck, bring it and Jordan will cook it kind of deal. Bring a link of sausage, BYOB.
Potluck protest?
Yeah, let's have a potluck protest. Let's do it soon. Oh, can we, Ash?
Tommy's got the deer sausage.
Tommy, I'm not joking. I think it would be awesome. We'll bring a couple of pits. We'll set up on the corner of the Patty Dodson. Is there any reason that we can't do it? Anybody know? I'm being sincere. I'm not a protester. I love to eat. So I'm thinking we could go.
It's not a protest.
Well, we'll make it a protest. We will protest those who dispute our ability to protest. What if we went and set up P. Strauss, bam, I've got a kegerator. I know some people, great segue, Went Services can come out and help us have a whole protest generator that we can run on propane. I've got the propane. Party in the park. No, we need more visibility, Scott. We need to be at the Patty Dodson.
I can just plug the kegerator in the Hummer.
Beautiful.
It's just a giant battery.
That'll run for 8 minutes. That'll be
Oh,
the
did you
best
want it more than
minutes.
8 minutes? I didn't know that.
But what we could do, the Hummer goes.
6 minutes. He's got to drive there first.
Oh, good point. Good point.
But I'm thinking Went Services will come out and bring us a generator for that purpose. I like it. Mark Zapata is going to bring his guitar.
Whoa.
All of a sudden, it's
This is
turning into a
becoming-
street dance.
my lord.
No, Mark Zapata's got skills.
no, I
He'd be
know.
awesome. We could have some food brought in, maybe some not accoutrement. We could have some side dishes brought in from Paravita Wellness. If we did it on a Saturday, we could
Cucumber
get
salsa.
Lisa Poole could go by and pick up all the leftover half-off food at
Thaw
Paravita
them out and bring them.
and bring it to
And we
us.
could warm them up in the microwave plugged into the
Look at
Went
there.
generator.
Junior's got a generator. Look at that. Junior says, don't worry about it. He's got the Genset 17500. Now, Scott Tomko says he doesn't think the city would like us swilling beer at Patty Dodson, but here's what we'll do. You bring your own, like, Yeti type cup, right? And you just walk over to the back of Cody's Hummer, top it off with a little foamy frosty.
Out of P. Strauss's kegerator.
Yeah. Tommy Kingston wants the call-in number. Well, of course, that's 894-4020. 894-4020. Folks, the office is at 205. Be a great place for a protest. We have a county-owned parking lot right next door. Plenty of parking. You can come in. Let's see what's happening here. Let's see what we got going here.
Palace Bingo, Thursday night. We will be there. Wade and Carter night. Come on by, stop by, play some bingo.
Micah Patton, head of the school board, says don't do your street dance protest on a rainy day because he's heard the drainage is terrible. Yeah. Allen's Wrecker Service, 578-6300. Allen is your go-to tow-to. They can help you get from here to there from pretty much anywhere in our listening audience. I know for a fact that Allen's will help you in Gonzales County, DeWitt, Goliad, Calhoun, for sure.
Yep.
They've got a depot in Refugio.
B.
Reach out to them. So let's see what we have here. I'm gonna put this on speaker and go back to the main. Good morning, Tommy Kingston.
Hey, good morning, my friends. I don't know if you saw it or not. We went to Nashville last week to the Turkey Federation, and we got some hunts donated to us, several of them for the kids.
Fantastic.
Just to let y'all know, we've got a let me get to it. We've got a bear hunt for a child in Canada on May the 17th to the 23rd, and we've got a turkey hunt in Old Mexico, April 11th through the 16th, and it's the most beautiful turkey I've ever seen. I saw it at the show. So we've got a couple of hunts that we've got coming up. If anybody has any kids, that are going through some sick situations in their life or bad health or something, and we're just reaching out to see if anybody would like to have their kids go on a hunt. And as we always do, it's always never going to cost the family nothing. We pay for everything for them to go. So just, I don't know if you'd like to give my number. If anybody's interested, they can call me.
Go ahead.
And
Cody's going to write down your number when you say it as well. Tell him.
Okay, 361.
Yes, sir.
645
Yes, sir.
4743.
There you go.
And you pay for everything for the kid and one parent, correct?
That's correct. And if they have to have licenses for where we're at, we take care of all of that. We actually got quite a few hunts donated. So as we go through the year, we're going to be needing more and more of these children, that are fighting some health issues and some cancer and extenuating circumstances. Because we sure want to reach out and be able to take them on these hunts. And we got some fishing trips donated, so we got a lot coming up for the kids.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Tommy, listen in. We're going to talk about it for a second. And thank you for being.
Thanks, Tommy.
Thank you for being who you are and as involved as you are. You talk about a matter of the heart.
The Beverly Woods Hunting and Fishing for Kids Foundation.
Tommy Kingston has embraced this organization full on. And the number one thing that Tommy has always promoted to me is because you just can't believe that every dime that ends up donated goes back to a kid. That every portion of the organization is faith and charity based to the point that they helped, for example, recognize when Reverend Hobbs, when his granddaughter was so ill, they helped recognize her and worked with the sheriffs and the police department on that. They just the total pride of the deal is that every possible expected and unexpected expense is borne by the foundation. They've given over 660 trips. They've had over $500,000 in donations. Over 600 children have been introduced to the outdoors in the name of Beverly Woods. It's just a fantastic. Oh, that's going to be the sheriff. I think you better just feel free to walk right across. Don't worry about it, buddy. And there, Cody puts it in there. Tommy Kingston, Beverly Woods. Feel free to call Tommy. It's a 501c3. If you donate, you get 100% write-off back. It's just a fantastic organization that, as with so many of the things that we have done over the decade, we have been blessed more than we have ever helped them.
Absolutely.
By being affiliated with the organization. And they're not flashy. They're not out there giving away the Beverly Woods Shotgun of the Year, but when they have auctions and things, it's all for a very righteous cause. And if you know someone, if you know of a child that is ill or, I think about it in the lines of like the Sunshine Kids. I think about it in the line of like Make-A-Wish
type of thing, yep.
But it's very local, very able to be. In fact, also, Tommy has reached out in the past, and I always just throw it out there because, like I said, our audience has been the most generous and charitable group of people I've ever been associated with. They are in need of a like Polaris type or a Kubota type, a four-wheeler, if you will. They're looking for a side-by-side, if you will, four-person type unit. Used is fine. They're just hoping
As long as
to
it
find.
works, yep.
That's right. That's exactly right.
Before we get our guest in, what do you make of Trump's 15-day ultimatum to Iran, saying you've got 15 days to come to a deal or bad things will happen?
I think that's about as basic as he can break it down for them. And I'll tell you, my observation has been you've got up to 15 days. If I get really irritated between now and then, you might feel the wrath of Khan. So I'm not
And
convinced.
when pressed on what the deal looks like, he won't say, which is good. He's not negotiating this thing in public except
No.
to say, pressure's on, Iran, get it done,
Correct.
or you will face the wrath.
And here's where the unhinged left can't deal with it. He hasn't told you everything that's at stake here. And it may be that he's literally saying, right there, he says 10, 15 days is pretty much the maximum. The Iranian president saying, I think we made good headway. Well, we're going to see if you've made good progress or not. You have 2 weeks to wrap this up.
You basically got 10 days to show good faith that you're heading there.
Yeah.
Then you might get the 5-day extension. If there's no progress between now and day 10, yeah, something might happen.
The idea that Iran believes they're going to have some kind of an equitable agreement whereby it's like, well, it's good for them and it's good for us, I think that's folly. I think this is 100% going to be Trump dictating to Iran, you will not, and you will. You will not continue killing people who are in conflict with the Ayatollah Khomeini, and you will not revisit your nuclear program. And if you do, I mean, you've already shown you don't care about people dying. We're going to help you.
What's the over and under before the leftists in this country take up sides with Iran in this one
Oh,
because Trump's
don't-
being a
don't-
bully?
I
Is it 2
guarantee you.
days?
Yeah.
Is it by Sunday? Protests will start happening in the streets. They'll be organized. They'll have
They'll
nicely
be at the Patty
printed placards.
Dodson. They'll be at the Patty Dodson waving an Iranian
I
flag.
stand with Iran and
Yes.
Palestine.
and Persians. You know, that'll be.
I
the
stand
thing.
with the Persians.
Do you-
I don't stand with the Iranian regime.
There you go. Come on across, boss. Palace Bingo, where friends meet friends. Get into Palace Bingo next Thursday. A week from yesterday, Palace Bingo, your home where friends meet friends. We're going to have fun, support 7 local charities. You'll be thrilled.
$10 New York strips to the chopping block. Get in, get them.
There's a quick live view of Commander Cody's dome. Look,
How you doing?
put your head back down where you were there. If you look there, see that? That looks like the Strait of Hormuz. There you have it. It's a global map. He is an MI6 anomaly. Chopping block this weekend. Get in and have some steaks. No seafood. Steaks, chicken wings. There you go. Joe Mitchell says, we stand with Iran T-shirts. It's got to be more like I stand with Iran. It's got to have a rhyme to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. We must go with O Mexico. White Trash Services, 550-1826. White Trash, the absolute leader in all of the No Bull Network for trash collection service. Reach out to them. They will donate to your volunteer fire
I've
department.
already donated over $12,000 to the volunteer fire department.
It's probably even more than that. I'm going to find out. BJ Nelson, we need a number.
21,000 as of this morning.
You're kidding me.
Wow.
No, sir. I already asked her.
How about that?
I
$21,000.
knew what you wanted.
That is
Look at
awesome.
him coming, anticipating our needs.
Commander Cody, by the way, brand us. We joke about him. We have fun with him. I'm going to put him on the camera there. Commander Cody, by the way, we're donating a paintball-based Cody hunt to the Beverly Hill, to
Too
the Beverly
soon.
Woods
Too
Foundation.
soon with
sorry,
the Nancy
sorry.
Guthrie thing.
We're going to let Cody,
We haven't talked about her today.
we're going to put Cody, Sheriff, we're going to put Cody into an open field and allow a child to annihilate him with paintballs.
51 different. That would be a heck of a
Wouldn't
Beverly
that be
Woods
a
hunting
great-
and fishing.
Do you think that you and I could raise? What am I bidding? Can I start the bidding at $5,000 to shoot, and we'll get him not to trim his hair on top of his head, look like a big old woolly bear? There you
all
have
he
it.
gets are like the safety goggles from science class in the 80s.
But he's such a team player that, like, if he gets hit, he'll go "Ah," and turn the other direction. He'll walk across, "Ah," turn the other
Be
direction.
like, what was that, duck hunt?
He would be awesome. Enough about him. Let's talk about us. The chopping block's great.
51 different volunteer fire departments have benefited by that 21 grand thanks to BJ and Scott and the gang at White Trash. It's awesome.
There you go. BJ Nelson says, call in today and make our customer experience specialists day.
Benjamin Lomer Sr. says, paintball, sign him up.
There you go. So we're going to switch gears here, and we're going to get a lot more serious, and we're going to visit with our state representative, the Honorable Sheriff A.J. Louderback. always great to have you here. Sir, if we call your office, can we have a voter experience specialist interaction?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay, that's what I'm thinking. You have an office here, which is
Yes.
in
Legal
Heritage,
registered voter experience.
right? If you're legally registered to vote,
That's correct. That's correct. I see you guys are in fine form this morning.
it's a Friday.
As the radio show of the Coastal Bend.
I'll ask you,
Wade and Carter.
where would you suggest we start the bidding to take a shot at Commander Cody?
Oh, I don't know. I think 5,000.
I think 5,000 is a good
Do I get to
starting
pick where this money goes? I mean, not to me. I
a
understand
portion
that.
of the proceeds to be determined by Wade and Carter will be diverted away from the Beverly Woods Foundation.
There's just a lot of nonprofits.
I mean, if you think there's a better place than the Beverly Woods, I mean, kill his mic.
Can we split it? That's all I'm asking.
Are you thinking the Cody Bauman
No, not
Hair
at all.
Restoration
Memorial
Foundation?
Fund.
No.
Cody
taking-
Bauman's Hair Memorial
We're
Fund.
taking a shot.
I'm just thinking we have lots of nonprofits that come on this show, and can I benefit all of them?
Well, I like where your heart's at. He's got a heart as big as Texas. Sheriff, how are you, sir?
Good. I'm good.
You enjoying just the complete, total downtime you have now that the session's in?
Well,
What was your
Well,
reaction to the DMV? We'll jump right into it. Basically saying that anyone who wants to register a vehicle in Texas has to prove they are a legal U.S. resident. They put this rule into place.
well, I think the chaos that's come from unchecked illegal immigration in this country is pretty profound. I'm for any of those things that's going to clean that up. So get back to the rule of law, get back to legal status. We're attempting to do that. I think those are all necessary. I think they're all very, very, very acceptable. I think it's all very doable. So as we stray off of that path into lawlessness, it's a claw back. You got to claw your way back.
You see this one idiot in Minnesota who was, I think it was in Rochester, Minnesota. She was one of those ones following ICE around and disrupting their ability to do their job. And when they explained to her they were trying to get somebody who had murdered somebody and raped a child, and her excuse, well, that was in his past.
Yeah, well, that's the idiocy of what's going on.
Why are we not seeing these protests and these unfortunate interactions with law enforcement in the great state of Texas? I mean, we're deporting more people than Minnesota. Why are we not seeing those things here?
Well, I think Texas law enforcement is cut from a little different cloth. I mean, that's we handle things a little differently. The rule of law means something in certain areas of the country. Texas is one of those areas that believes in the rule of law. Standards that are to be honored. So the way we handle things here is of a legal nature. So I guess we're more intolerant of just straight up lawlessness.
And
Yes,
our law
sir.
enforcement is cooperating with ICE so that we don't have the combative nature of what's going on
And we've
right
got-
from the
we've got,
leadership in
for the-
states like Minnesota and
We've
California.
got great citizens. We've got people who understand the rule of law and realize that there's a process if you want to change law. And so I'm now involved in the lawmaking process. Still involved in the enforcement of the law, but more so my role today is one of making laws and steering the state in a direction where we're efficient. We spend our money well, and we try to accomplish things that are going to make Texans better. And so,
Kathleen Leininger says it's great to see you on the program this morning.
absolutely.
What about, so I know we've got 10 amendments coming up to be, is it right? 10 amendments to be voted upon.
Well, they're resolutions.
Okay, is there
Propositions.
any of those that you have exception with, or are the 10 in line with where you feel?
I think these are all direct, excuse me, directional signals for state legislature. So we'll take these 10 propositions as we took the others, and they'll be the guiding principle a number of bills that will surface starting January 27th. So that, you know, I think it's very beneficial to have where our citizens want the legislature to look into. And so, you know, I think from 1 to 10, 10 being the, you know, looking at the Islamification of Texas, so Sharia law, several different ways to pronounce that, but that's the rules of the Muslim order, I would say. It's not really a religion; it's an actual order of things. If you
Yes,
look
sir.
historically at what Islam and Muhammad taught, that's a very, very, very complex from the 7th century on, and so it culminates in world domination.
Isn't it?
That's the goal.
I remember the governor, Greg Abbott, saying that, you know, first of all, Sharia law is incompatible by federal law with the United States. However, is that with this being a resolution, is this just the state of Texas kind of doubling down? Oh, by the way, we acknowledge this is not going to happen in our state.
I think these are what the Republican Party puts out as, or they're trying to rank, I guess, amongst Republican primary voters, sort of their agenda and what they see the issues they need to work on, or at least lobby the government for going forward. Correct? That's kind of what
correct.
this is.
I agree with that, and their propositions where we obtain feedback on what's important to our citizens here.
Awesome.
Proposition 6: Texas should enact term limits on all elected officials. You think that'll get any traction amongst elected officials if it becomes a priority out of the Republican Party?
You know, that's a good guess. I think they're you know, the arguments are always that there are term limits because there's an election, but that's not totally the case. So term limits, I'm not opposed to term limits. You know, I don't think that.
What would be a reasonable term limit for? You know, I mean, when you only go up every 2 years, it's kind of, I think two terms would be a little bit maybe too short.
You could make an argument. You could make an argument pro or con for that. You know, that's. I think at some point in time, I think the goal is trying to keep career politicians from being there for 20, 30 years. So we see it in the federal system a lot, and there's some in the state system too, but they've managed to get elected every 2 years for a number of terms.
Forever.
Yeah.
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 You were looking
And
sharp
many don't get
yesterday.
anything done.
You spoke at a Crown Hospice
Yes.
meeting. What was that?
That was just a good meeting. Attorney here in town, Diane Klein, did a very good job on talking about estate planning and different legal areas that she's a subject matter expert in, and so it was very informative and good crowd. Good
Awesome.
crowd.
Yeah, I saw you on Facebook there,
Yep.
looking sharp. I think I even commented, looking sharp. Well, what I was joking about you having spare time. I honestly cannot remember the last time that I spoke with you that you weren't on the road, literally out of town doing something, whether it be Bay City or Austin or somewhere.
It's you know, representation is what you make of it, and you know, I have a very clear understanding of what my role is, and representation means you're engaged and listening intently to our constituents here in House District 30, and you know, taking care of the state business that we've got to do. So, you know, my day starts around 6 o'clock, 6:30, and usually with a phone call. I had a phone call this morning from on an egregious case that I'm going to try to assist in. So there's plenty of things and plenty of work here in Texas we've got to do.
I mean, folks, you can do it, but you may get a different version of Representative Louderback at 6 than you might get around 8:30. I would suggest maybe allowing him to get up and get Trigger a bag of oats and just kind of relax for a minute before.
Polish up the old 6-shooter.
Well, that's fair. That's fair.
Do you have anything that you feel comfortable sharing now I know we're well ahead of the next legislative session, but is there anything that you're crafting at this moment that's shareable of legislation you plan to introduce or co-author in the next session?
There's quite a few things because we've got to get ahead of this. So a large part of my week is based upon planning, putting into place the structure, the elements of good legislation. In my years of going to the Capitol and in the public safety realm, this is a key area. People want to be safe in their home, and how we go about that, and the different practices of public safety need to be looked at. So I think we're heavily engaged in doing that right now. So in contact on a weekly basis with state leadership in certain areas as we try to craft out a really well thought out plan as we move forward into January 27. And then of course we have a campaign that I have an opponent. I'm not sure who it'll be. There's a Democratic primary right now, so but I'll have a Democrat opponent, as most of the House and Senate here in Texas does. So as the Democrat Party strives to remain relevant.
Yeah, I think that they feel obligated to put someone up just to force the Republicans to spend money. I do. I think that's exactly what it is.
It could be. I actually, that's the system. Don't run for office if you're not prepared for an opponent.
Yeah.
So, and that's okay. That's fine. That's our system. That's what we have here.
It's one of the checks and balances of
absolutely.
Our system. Absolutely.
I agree with it 100%.
Right. Well, then you've got like our own Judge Zeller has made it illegal to run against him, so he runs again unopposed, and which is what is that? There's two ways to run: unopposed and scared to death. So I do think it's good to have an opponent. It gets folks engaged even more so. Although it'd be hard to imagine you any more engaged, but people engaged with the community to see what the real concerns are.
Are you hearing from the community what they want to see in the next legislative session? What are some of the things that the people are telling you as you gear up for 27?
Yes, I think the overwhelming response in the last probably 3 months and 2 months has really been the Islamification of Texas. I think there's a serious fear of what's going on here in our state, and people are concerned about it. I get regular calls about a number of things, but that's never far from what's going on. And then you've got the standards that affect the state, and that's got to be water and power. I mean, we put money into it the last session. We've got to put more. And I'm sure we will. We've got to, with some vision, look into nuclear quite a bit more. And we've got some companies here in Victoria that are definitely doing that. So there's progress there. Of course, in this district, I've got, in Matagorda County, we've got South Texas Nuclear Project, which I've toured a number of times. So it's an outstanding power provider, clean energy. So these things are along with water, that's what prohibits growth.
Well, and then we reported on this last week. A report out of the Houston Advanced Research Center suggests that about 3% of our water usage will be consumed by these data centers that are being constructed in
What's your
Texas.
concern?
Well, 3% doesn't seem like a lot,
It's a
but when
lot.
you have the issues we have with current water, it's a lot.
Absolutely, it is.
Are you thinking that the concern about the Islamification of the state, does that stem from people observing the Ilhan Omars and the Mogadishu, Minnesota atmosphere, that people are like, wait a minute, if you're not careful, a city like Dallas that has a bunch of mosques and things, the next thing you know, these people take over your city government, and then they're entrenched, and then you're stuck with them.
Well, New York is an example of this.
Yes, sir.
New York now, supposedly 66 immigrant 66% immigrants. So how did Mamdani get elected there? Which is he's unapologetic Marxist.
Yeah, communist guy.
Is what he is. So, I think there's just a fear and concern. They're saying, hey, let's look at this. Let's look at anything we can do.
I think if there's anything, our Constitution probably is better set up than any other country that have allowed Sharia law to be implemented as alternative court and dispute resolution type of things. Like Canada has issues with this in Toronto. Europe is seeing a lot of this, but I think the U.S. is protected by our Constitution in this way. So I don't know that that's as big a concern, the Sharia law, from my perspective, because of the way the United States is structured.
Well, I think we've got to reassure the public that that we're on top of this and that we know what's going on, and then within the legal framework of our country, this is how we operate. And so, what all can be done, I'm not really at liberty to say exactly what direction the state's headed, but we're definitely listening to our constituents.
And this is a common comment. Property tax reform should be way over Islamic stuff. And I, just as a taxpayer and as everybody in the room is, I just find it interesting that people believe somehow that if we can do away with property taxes, that we're going to somehow all pay less in tax. And the reality is the state, one way or the other, is still going to get their pound of flesh. And you've got what's behind door number one, the property tax. We know what it is. It's fairly predictable. And like it or not, it's fairly equitable. I mean, the guy that's got the big house pays more taxes than the poor guy that doesn't have as big a home. But you start wondering, if you make things on a consumption basis, won't there be somebody in Austin that's backing into and saying, well, we still need to raise $100 billion, so the tax rate has to be X in order to do that? Is it folly to think that taxes will go down unless you guys are successful in getting the state to spend less money?
Well, state budget is $339 billion.
Wow. Thank goodness for oil.
Absolutely. So, I think and property taxes are always and have been historically always a point of contention. And some of it comes down to the fact on what services are you prepared to do without. So city, county, state rely upon a two-tiered system of sales tax plus property value tax. So how are we going to balance the money required for a city, county, and state? So, I think this is this can be simplified by saying, 8.25 on sales tax. How much can it go up? And I think under property taxes, I don't know how you could do away with them. There's some people say we could do away with property taxes. The amount of money necessary to run a city, county, state is so great. The number for sales tax
And the school districts. The school districts grab a
absolutely,
huge chunk of that.
It'd be 30% or more. It would have to be.
48% of the state budget went to public schools, which is money well spent for 5.5 million kids. But that's all part of the equation here. So under property taxes, I think there are a number of members in the legislature that are going to be looking at a fair, accurate presentation of our property values. Let's make sure we're getting that right. Let's make sure we clean up some things. Our appraisal system may need to be looked at pretty hard because you can get a tax exemption, which you have an exemption now that just went into effect. So you get that exemption, and then your property values go up.
Yes, sir.
So it just kind of eats into that exemption. So.
And then you guys are having to increase the homestead exemption, like you have, I think, the last couple of legislative sessions, in order to balance that.
Yeah. So but I think there is an attitude of real concern about property taxes and taxes and sales tax, and how we can balance that better, and how we can apply that in a better fashion. Make sure it's more accurate. Make sure that the property values that you pay are what you should be paying. You're not undervalued or overvalued. I think these are important things to folks. I think people will pay taxes. I think they want services, and they understand that we've got to have bridges, roads, hospitals, and things like this that go on, so public safety. So I think they want fair representation. They want a fair look at this thing. And I mean, I pay them, you pay them,
Yes, sir.
everyone in this room pays them.
Yes, sir.
They need to be correct.
We've reached the top of the hour. We've been visiting with our state representative, House District 30 State Rep AJ Louderback. And, sir, we always appreciate your accessibility, appreciate you being in. We, again, reiterate, don't call the sheriff at 6:30 in the morning. But
Well, very serious, guys. I mean, y'all do represent a radio show here that is spot on in so many ways, conservative values, Texas values that y'all preach here every day, 5 days a week. So, we all owe you a debt of gratitude for the job
we
that both
appreciate you.
Appreciate
both
that.
of you do to bring the messaging here that we need.
Yes, sir.
Thank y'all.
Amen. Hope you guys have a great weekend. Be safe. Stay off the roads any more than you have to. If you get in trouble, call Allen's Wrecker Service.
There you go.
Go by, see Tommy Taylor, and get you a new Chevrolet, and be safe on the roads. Bye, folks. Have a great weekend.
Bye, folks.